Hey, what's up? My name is Jonathan Rosales. Welcome to Remote Contractor Solutions channel. Super excited that you're here. The purpose of this channel is to help remote contractors or contractors in general use the systems that we've been able to implement in our business, in my business specifically, in the gutter space, and be able to really create this hybrid. If you want to be 100% remote, 100% possible, I run and operate $1 million business completely remote overseas in Europe while conducting business in America. I've been able to do that for the last 3 years. We've been involved in the business for 6 years. We're generating between $20,000 to $25,000 a week in business generated in the gutter space. Gutter cleaning, gutter repairs, and gutter installations. A lot of it I owe to being able to delegate a lot of the work and focusing only on the income producing activities. And what I mean by delegating, it really is using the virtual assistants, outsourcing other people's amazing skills from other countries, typically in Latin America, in order to produce the tasks that need to be accomplished. For example, the number one task that I feel that everybody should have be completely delegated is picking up the phones. Imagine being in the workspace and having to pick up a call from a potential lead while you're doing the job. Now, when I was back home and installing gutters, cleaning them, I was picking up the phone call on a ladder. Super unsafe, super unreliable, and very unprofessional, to be honest, right? So now we've implemented softwares, phone service providers that help do the following, right? This is a really simple task that you can take. The number one thing you should take care of is if you have a business, your business phone line shouldn't be your personal phone line. Why? Because your business is completely separate from your personal life. But I've seen a lot of contractors use their same business number as their personal cell phone number. Now you don't know if a customer is calling you or somebody that knows you who just wants to catch up with you is really calling you. So just separating those two things can help tremendously. Now, hiring a virtual assistant to pick up the phone calls on a recorded line, oh my God, guess what? Now all of these phone calls are not being missed. They're getting somebody immediately, which helps the speed to lead, which helps you in all honesty, at the end of the day, acquire more business. I'll tell you this, if I call a business right now, and if they don't pick up on the first call, I'm calling the next one in line because right now I have a problem. Let's say I have a roof leak. I'm going to call a roofer. If the first roofer doesn't pick up, it's bad luck. I'm going to call the next one. Whoever picks up the phone call first really gets the business faster than the one that returns a call later. Sometimes I'm the weekend warrior. Okay, what does that mean? Typically, my assistants only work Monday through Friday. I handle the phones on Saturday, which is still a huge bottleneck for me because I'm with my family and I'm at the beach. I'm having dinner. I'm having lunch. Who knows what I'm doing? I'm 6 hours ahead. So I miss all the phone calls. And sometimes I call them back 1 hour later and they're like, oh no, I'm all set. I already got somebody else to take care of it. 1 hour later, I missed. The average sale in my business for cleaning is around $200, $250. I missed a $250 opportunity. That missed call cost me $250. Okay? I can't imagine if it was an installation. I'm just assuming. That gives you a really good example of what this channel is really about. My goal here is to give you as much of what I use on a day-to-day basis to be able to be completely remote. Now, I'm not saying, hey, do the remote digital contractor lifestyle. No. I'm saying use the skills and the tools that I've been implementing in my business, which are going to be given to you completely for free, okay? Because the only thing we offer here at Remote Contractor Solutions is really simple. A virtual assistant solution. That's it. That's the bit. What does he sell? That's what I sell. I help people who are in the contractor space find virtual assistant staffing solutions. I've been able to configure and vet and process and really train virtual assistants to conduct high-performing activities in the contracting space. And now I'm helping others. I have customers from roofing to gutter individuals, social media, customer service. So it's very, very cool stuff. I'm going to give everything I got, all the value here on a platter, just implement, right? Tony Robbins said, knowledge is power. Not really. It's only potential power. The true power in knowledge is the implementation of the information, right? I didn't purposely want to rhyme, but I ended up rhyming. So You see here, right here, I got all Alex Hormozi's books. I can read them, fantastic. But if I don't implement the ideas or the information into my business, it's like I never read it in the first place. I hope that you take something from here. On a weekly basis, we're gonna be posting a video, long form, a little longer than it needs to be, right? 17 minutes is the longest you'll ever hear me speak, and I hope that you're able to implement it. So, to give you more about who I am, that way you know where I come from, where I am, and where I'm going. Started this business about 6 years ago. We started during the pandemic, but prior to the pandemic, my experience in sales has been all over the place, okay? I've done door-to-door sales. I've done the restaurant business. I was a bartender, waiter, busboy, host. I've done catering events. I used to work for MetLife. I used to work at a car dealership. I was a salesman. I've done a variety of things. The one of my favorite ones was network marketing, multi-level marketing, right? Those pyramid things. One of my favorite was travel. We started traveling around the world, but during the pandemic, that shut down. Then I lost my business opportunity, and I wasn't able to work at restaurants anymore. So, I'm getting this stimulus check. I'm getting a little chubby because I'm getting money and I'm just ordering and staying in because you're staying in. I saw pandemic as an opportunity. The cleaning business was growing. My father was in the cleaning business himself, working for someone else. And I called the owner and said, hey, I can offer sanitation services. I can help you grow your cleaning portfolio. I'll get a little small percentage retainer on a monthly basis. You don't got to pay me. I just go do the actual door knocking, B2B sales, right? It worked. During that time, I came across Leaf Filter. Amazing company. My buddy was selling gutter filters for Leaf Filter. And I said, wow, that sounds easy. That looks easy. Unfortunately, they didn't have a space for me to be a sales rep. The reason why is because there was so many sales reps selling jobs. It was a new office in Providence. And if you sold, you don't get paid until the install gets done. So what I ended up doing was I said, you know what? If I can't sell, I'll go install. I'll learn how to install this bad boy. How hard can it be? It was pretty hard. I was going on ladders, cleaning down, installing filters. But then I had a light bulb. Let me start my Google business page. I'm in the gutter cleaning business. I'm like, I got the ladder, I got the truck. I can do this on the side as well, besides Leaf Filters. Leaf Filter was subcontracting me. So okay, let's do that. I get my contractor license. I opened up my GMB. All the installations that I did for Leaf Filter, I would ask them for a review. I said, hey, don't mention the product, just mention me and that I cleaned and installed a guard. They're like, okay, no problem. There were a lot of people. Eventually, in the 6 months, I got 85-star reviews. On top of that, my brother-in-law, who started to work with me, started saying around the neighborhood that I had work, which I did, but I was using subcontractor work from Leaf Filter, and they didn't speak a lick of English. So I said, hey, look, you get your truck, you get your ladder, you need this tool, that tool. I'll give you 80% of what they pay me. So I was making 20% of me basically GCing the job. I already had my GC license, got my business, I got my business checkbook. Now I have sub. So I was subbing, and then I had subbing the work that was being subbed to me, which, if that makes any sense. The first 6 months with Leaf Filter, we went from 0 to 180,000 in cash collected of installation money. We were doing 30 to 40 installations per week. On top of that, Leaf Filter was also paying me a bonus for every 20 installations overage I was going for. So I was making quite a few dollars there. And that's really when I started to see, wow, I can actually run and operate a business without me actually doing the physical work. Because during that time, before Thanksgiving of 2020, during the pandemic, I took a trip to Mexico. I was able to do 30 installations while in Mexico. Then I came back and went to Colombia with my best friend. Went to Colombia, did the same thing, and I was like, that was like I had no idea remote contracting was a thing, but it was a little small taste to what was to come. We took all the low-hanging fruit, then I became a sales rep with Leaf Filter. So I learned their sales process to the T. I worked with them for 6 months and I made $60,000, almost 65. It absolutely changed my mind. I was making more than I ever made before. It was 10,000 clean out the door, and I only worked for 6 months. The remaining 6 months, I took a vacation. I went to Guatemala to a yoga teacher training, met my wife, fell in love, proposed 2 months later, had a baby 9 months later, and got married and moved out of the country. And that's what happened in my second year of the gutter business. I was using, at the time, Google Calendar. I was sending quotes via Google Documents. I wasn't getting no signatures. I wasn't getting any credit card payments. I was only doing cash and check. A bunch of no-nos, right? In the gutter space, every lead that came that called for gutter installations, I was saying no to because I didn't have the people. We started implementing systems. We immediately hired a virtual assistant. Over the last 4 years, completely changed the game. It allowed me to really focus more on the business rather than being in the business. We started implementing tools like FlowChat, which eventually got replaced with Monday. Then after Monday was implemented, we were using Wave apps, which was our processing and credit card and quoting process. Then that got replaced with Jobber. Now I'm huge on Jobber. I love Jobber. Jobber completely revolutionized my business. And so now we have all these systems in place, and fast forward 4 years later, we're completely remote. I've been completely living out off grid, you can say, not in the country. And we generated $1 million in sales last year, cash collected, with 0 sales reps. Everything sold online. Gutters being sold online. Gutter cleaning, gutter repairs, gutter installations. And now we are here. Now I'm helping other contractors do similar implementations of the systems that we offer to do a hybrid model or completely go remote. That's who I am. That's where I come from. We're on pace to hit 1.5 this year. We're on also pace to hit 1,000 5-star Google reviews. Right now, we're at 820. And so I'm excited. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.